Past the 7. Woo! There's no flow like the 7. Well, what I mean by that, Carson, is I think the 7 has a narrative flow to it. Function. There's 4 functions to be a broker. The 4 functions of being a broker are: can you find a customer? Function 1. Can you open an account? Function 2. Can you make an investment? Function 3. And then what happens after the investment? Function 4. Of those 4 functions, function 3 is the investment part. We were talking earlier about suitability. So what I think of you, when you think of it, it has a narrative thread. That's what I mean by narrative thread. Can you find money? Can you, move money? Can you place money? Kind of what a broker does, right? It makes sense. I originate capital. I allocate capital. I manage capital. I don't think the NAS exams have a narrative thread or flow. That's what I mean by that. They're all over the place. Now, they're organized like FINRA exams based on test specifications. But boy, those are all over the place. Laws and regulations doesn't really fit with, client and investment up recommendations and vehicles. So that's what I mean by that. And I do think on NAS exams, that lack of flow can be a challenge. It's, onesies over here and twosies over there. Now, Carson, I always say this. I always think Brian does a good job in his practice tests of mimicking actual exams, even NASA. So if you take a Test Geek NASA exam, it's over here, and then it's over there, and it's over here again. So that's what I mean. Don't let me put negative vibes on your 66. But there are people who do not struggle with a 7 who do find the 66 challenging. Brian, your thoughts?
First episode of our Series 66 podcast. We'll answer all your questions.
Love it, Carson. I'll link to that. Brian and I did a podcast, Geek and Guru, where we go over the entire 66 as a bookend, kind of, so you can get a flyover, so to speak, do a little recon of the 66. And I suggest you start every exam with that. We did it for the 65 as well. I will link to it in the video description. It may take me, maybe not tonight, maybe tomorrow, but I'll link that. You could go to the playlist and just find it. It's a separate playlist under 66. And it's always podcast overviews with Brian or myself are always the first in the playlist. We would like you to read the book cover to cover, but I understand you may not do it. So this is my version. If you're not going to read the damn book, at least watch our video to get an idea what the whole thing looks like.